What's up, everybody? Tresho9, welcome to the show. It is a Friday night on this beautiful, warm night here in beautiful Maui. Maui. Yes, let's get back to that. Today, I just I don't know. I'm feeling today at work it was pretty busy, very productive. I did some introduction to mediation training today. I'm going to be doing that. And there's every Friday there's this training that goes on. Pretty dope. We get together, collectives get together, creatives get together, and we practice. We practice the mediation process, which I think is really dope. And we talk about our conflict, or if there's a conflict that's going on at the time, and then we address that conflict as a group and as a team, which is really dope, to be honest, and something that I've never really been a part of. So organized, right? Which is so good. And I find myself, I never really thought I would actually be involved in something like this. So I think it's just very fascinating, and being in security for 2.5 years, or almost 3 years now, and then moving into CPI is what I'm going to be moving into. So I'm going to be learning about conflict prevention, and I just think it's just super cool. Because I honestly never thought I would be in this spot, but we're going to be learning some pretty amazing things, I think. And I titled this podcast "The Secrets of the Spiritual Heart," and I thought to myself, it's really not a secret. Our heart is something that can be very delicate and managed properly. Physically and spiritually, it could last us a while. When we are at peace, you dig. And that was what came up today in this particular meeting, in the mediation meeting, is peace. I was just feeling it all day today, right? Almost like too relaxed. But it's good though. It definitely feels like a Friday. It feels like that. So I just wanted to read some things here and there from a book, The Untethered Soul. Very few people understand the heart. In truth, the heart is one of the masterpieces of creation. Yeah, I would agree. It is a phenomenal instrument. It has the potential to create vibrations and harmonies that are far beyond the beauty of piano strings or flutes. You can hear an instrument, but you can feel your heart. And if you think that you can feel an instrument, it's only because it touched your heart. Your heart is an instrument made of extremely subtle energies that few people come to appreciate. I like that. It's this energy, right? And I think of a heartbeat to rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like this beat that's going on, right? It's consistent. That drum is consistent, and it keeps things in time. It keeps things in line. And the heart is what we associate love to. We think of the the heart, and we're like, oh, the heart is love, which is interesting. And I think that's just where the life source is, right? Because that's what life source is love. Like when you think about when Jesus came and he didn't come to dismantle the law per se, right? In the Bible, he actually came to fulfill it. And then he summed it up and basically said, paraphrasing here, but it's about love, right? And we talked about this before in previous, I think like 3 podcasts ago, where we talked about the actions of love, and love is kind. Love is not jealous, actually. I think we use jealousy. I think we are used to jealousy, right? And so we associate with jealousy because that's what we're used to. That's what we've almost practiced it, and we've accepted it. We've accepted jealousy to say, okay, well, this is what this is. This is this feeling of like, I don't like this, and da 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 da. You know, it could be, you know, something else too. I believe it could be that you are dwelling in the past, or you might have been hurt, right? Emotionally, you might have been hurt, or physically, you might have been hurt, and so you're associating different things with that pain, and so you feel jealous. You don't want anybody to hurt you anymore. So you put up walls and stuff like that because you don't want to feel jealous. In most human beings, the heart does its work unattended. Even through its behavior, it governs the course of our lives. It is not understood. If at any given point in time the heart happens to open, we fall in love. If at any given point in time it happens to close, we then stop love. Love then stops. If the heart happens to hurt, we get angry. And if we stop feeling it altogether, we get empty. All of these different things happen because the heart goes through change. These energies shift, and vibrations and variations that take place in the heart run your life. You are so identified with them that you use the word I and me when you refer to what is going on in your heart. But in truth, you are not your heart. You are the experience of your heart. You are the experience of your heart. Let that land real quick while I take a swig. Swig. So there's this example of you going through your day, you going through your life, and things affect you. Things affect you, and things may affect you in a positive way, in a negative way, and you take that in and you absorb these things. You know, some things are near and dear to your heart, right? Near and dear to your heart, so that it affects you even more. Obviously, when somebody passes away, somebody dies that you love, it affects you because you're going to miss this person. You have all these different memories with this person, and so you have so you know, when you're let's say you're driving down the road, right, and you see trees and you see different cars, you see different people, and you see a dog walking, and this and that. It happens that you see it and it just goes right through you, right? It just goes right through. And then you keep going, you keep moving. It doesn't really affect you that much, right? And I believe that that's partly where we want to get to, and that's the secret. We want to get to a place where energy can flow. we can get to a place where energy can not necessarily, like, we are not holding that energy, we're not containing that energy, because we want to be free, you know. The heart is actually very simple to understand. It is an energy center, a chakra. It is one of the most beautiful and most powerful energy centers, and one that affects our daily lives. As we have seen, an energy center is an area within our being through which your energy focuses and distributes and flows. So we have this focus, we have this certain focuses and certain distributions and different flows, right? There's different chambers in the heart, and that heart sustains our whole entire body with the life source of blood. And we contain this blood, and if we lose the blood, then we die. And that's the life source, if you will, right? And beyond that is the spirit that provides these things, and the creator that has created all this stuff. And it is about, the secret is to become the observer, really. Like, how do I become the observer? So today, once again, I was in training. I felt like I was in so many different meetings today. just kicked off the day with the meeting, and then I had like another meeting, and then I had a training, and then I had this mediation meeting. And some days it feels like that. Sometimes sometimes it just is like that. But as I'm going through this guy was talking, and it was just amazing. But he is a cultural Hawaiian cultural healer, if you will, and they use the ancestry ways and ways of the Hawaiian culture to provide and help with substance abuse. And so adults that are struggling with substance abuse, and so he was even saying, like, we don't even call it abuse per se. It is what it is, but then we don't look at these guys and these women, these humans, as addicted. Like, you have this problem, you are this problem, right? And so what they do is they want to get down to the root of the issue, and a lot of times it's reconnecting the person to something very simple, like the land, or source, right? Spirit, and being able to connect them to that. And once they're reconnected, actually, this is what he's talking about. He's like, once we reconnect them to source, to spirit, they have a different look, a different view. They have a different mindset of how things go. And they get to deal with certain things they have never actually dealt with before, because they've suppressed it and they've covered it up with, alcohol or drugs or whatever it may be. They covered it up with, and it's not just about these substances. It could be anything, it could be, gossip. It could be sex. It could be work. And so those are just to name a few. And so, like, it's amazing, because he was like, so what we actually do is we'll take the person, right? We have the beautiful scenery, and they have a nice house and everything like that they have their recovery center. And what we do is we actually take them to the beach. We take them to the beach because we want to get into the groundedness. We want to be in the dirt. We want to be in the sand. And then we want the ocean water to cleanse us. And there's a process that they do, that there's a cleansing that needs to happen, right? And there's a wholeness that needs to happen with that person. You got to understand, this wholeness. And so energy has to flow through. When it gets stagnant, it's kind of like it's kind of like an arthritis, where you can get these too much get callous on your hand, and then it's you get stiff, and then you get stuck. And so this is what it's referring to, and that's what it's talking about. And with this person that was teaching today, they were presenting today regarding about their program. And that's the thing, is that we want to reconnect these guys to get them unstuck, right? Get them unstuck and get their energy flowing again. So yeah, some dope stuff. The heart controls the energy flow by opening and closing. This means that the heart, like a valve, can enter and allow the flow of energy to pass through, or it can restrict the flow of energy from passing through. If you observe your heart, you know very well that it feels what it feels like when it's open and what it feels like when it's closed. In fact, the state of your heart changes quite regularly. You can be experiencing great feelings of love while in the presence of someone until they say something you don't like. Then your heart closes towards them and you simply don't feel the love anymore. And it can be that simple. You know what I mean? It can be that simple. And to expand just a little bit about that, that person may not have known that they're saying something that's hurtful to you because they don't actually really know. Maybe you never really opened up that much to them to know a little bit about your past and why that would even bother you. So they're not necessarily trying to, trigger you or dig at you. They're just living their life. And so, but they're used to that though, because that might be a mechanism for them because they're hurting. Or that's just how, there's a lot of people that show love that way. Well, they call it love. And they throw digs at folks, right? And sometimes those can be triggering. You know what I mean? Those can be triggering. I teach parents, and it's a very fine line. It's touchy because a parent, being a parent myself, you don't want to be, first of all, you're super protective of your children. And then, when somebody may call you out on something, it's like, wait, hold up. Nah, because you already know that you're struggling. You already know that you're struggling, but you don't want nobody else to call you out on that. And that goes with anything. I was talking to a girl one day. I was talking to a girl over some time, and I had called her out on some stuff. And she says, she's like, you don't have to say that. And I was like, I don't have to, but I'm just being observant, and I'm trying to, you're closed off. Your heart is closed, right? And yet you want to try to be in a relationship, and this is probably why you don't have a successful relationship, right? I think it's maybe one of the reasons, and rightfully so. Like, man, if I'm getting beat, if I'm getting hit and hit and hit and hit, or if I'm emotionally being dragged through the mud and someone's always, coming down on me, like, of course I'm going to shut down. Of course. Especially when it's coming from somebody that you love. If that's the case, of course you're going to shut down, But even that energy, that negative energy, we got to let it flow through. You dig? We got to let it flow through. Ooh, I like this. Hold up. We got to pause for this beat right here. That's what you get on Tresho9 here. You get the randomness, but it's all part of the plan. Because music is a vibration. You dig? Music is a vibration. And isn't it amazing how it makes you, like, your head bob? makes you dance. You know what I'm saying? Move. But let's listen to this. I gotta cut this out. We'll take a musical break. Yay. I gotta get a drink of water, man. My nose is tripping. I need to wash out the pollens and whatnot. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, and just like, you know, when growing up, talking about how the heart is closed off. I can remember when, you know, growing up and not having my father and not necessarily having a father to kind of bounce things off of, you know what I mean? Like, I just never had that, you know? And so, like, my heart became closed, you know? It became something that, I don't know, you know what I mean? It just happens that way, you know? And, yeah. I mean, I remember, you know, there's that. And then there was an opening. There was an opening. There was a time where he died when I was 10. And I talk about this a lot, actually, because it's freeing, and I want to help people, you know, because I know people are still struggling. Like, I'm 47 years old, and I haven't been struggling with that identity, you know, of that. However, I used to, and I understand what it's like. And so, but there's things like, you know, you can get You can get closed off because you've been hurt. There's a lot of pain in there, and so that heart is something that plays a huge factor to that. But we are renewed. And I wanted to read this. What is this? Psalms 24. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it. The world and its people belong to him. For he laid the earth's foundation on the seas and built it on the ocean's depth. Who may climb the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in the holy places? Only those whose hands and hearts are pure, and who does not worship idols and never tells a lie. And right there, like, for a lot of people, a lot of men and women and humans, they lie, right? And they worship idols. And they put things before God. I can't really put anything before God. Doesn't matter what you may see my life looking like. It's a result of something and someone who is greater than me. Because I couldn't do this myself. You know, I can't create myself. I can't, you know, in my experience. I mean, if somebody experiences they can create themselves, then I need to see that or know about that, because that's pretty dope. They will receive the Lord's blessing and have a right relationship with God, their Savior. Such people may seek you and worship in your presence, O God of Jacob. Open up ancient gates, open up the ancient doors, and let the King of glory enter. Who is the King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty, the Lord, invincible in battle. Open up those ancient gates, open up those ancient doors, and let the King of glory enter. Right? So when our heart is open, we can allow love again, you know. And I think that, so let's say you get hurt, okay? And you think, okay, I got to go find myself. So you go find yourself, right? And you go and you oh, I found myself. And then you get into a relationship and you get hurt again. I got to go find myself. And you get into another relationship and you get hurt, right? At some point, then you're all bitter. Oh, I don't like relationships. You know, women or men, they all suck. You know, this and that, and yada da 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 da. And really, it's like, why don't you find healing? Find yourself for sure, but also find healing. Also, don't close your heart, because when you close off that opportunity to even be healed or to even mend your broken heart. And so try not to close that off. Don't close that off. And say, okay, what am I learning here? What is God trying to show me here? What am I trying to do here? Why am I finding myself? I mean, I analyze myself. I become self-aware more and more every day, to be honest. And it's just interesting, you know. I'm not gonna say too much. You know what I'm saying? Because I think this is just a vibe. Tonight is just a vibe, and I'm just kind of just rambling. But at the same time, it's like there's an openness, and so, because I've been hurt plenty of times, and I felt the sting of rejection, and yet I still love, you know, because it opens up my heart constantly to be positive. And then as I'm continuously opening up, then I'm able to continue to love my wife. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the goal right there. You know what I mean? We can continue to have fun. We can continue to just love on each other and be playful. And those things are amazing. Those times are amazing. Yeah. It's funny because my wife, she wanted me to be open. I wasn't open. And because I wasn't open, my heart wasn't open. It wasn't fully into the situation, into the relationship. And because of that, I wasn't authentic. And because I wasn't authentic, I was closed off to being a leader. And because I wasn't being a leader, she didn't know what was going on in the relationship. Because she didn't know what was going on in the relationship, she became distant. And because she became distant, I became distant. We grew apart, and we really didn't even have to. It wasn't even about that. It was just basically all I had to do was adjust a few things, to be honest. And being honest was one of those things I had to adjust. And becoming a leader. Once I did that, things started to blossom, and the soil was way better. It became better, and the growth actually happened. And it's because I was tapped in, if you will. I was tapped into the source. I was tapped into spirit. I was tapped into God. And because of that, it was just a beautiful thing. It was just a beautiful thing. And I've said this before. I've said this so many times. I believe, for me, to have a successful relationship, you gotta have some sort of a spirituality, something. You gotta have a practice of some sort, man. And I find that those that are successful in relationships, they have that practice. They do have that practice, and it's good. And then you gotta have a group of people that you can get with. That's gonna tell you the truth. Gonna be honest with you. And you got to get it with a group of people that are going to sharpen you, right? That are going to sharpen you and make you better. Especially as a man. I can't really speak for women. but for men, you got to have that. You got to be better, right? You got to, at least that's what I want. I want to be around men that are going to make me better. And then sometimes I want to be around folks that might even like trigger me, because I want to see. That's how I also grow, right? If I want to learn about something, I go into it, I dive into it. And when I learned about Jehovah's Witness, I didn't just listen to like a pastor talk bad about Jehovah's Witnesses, a Christian pastor. I went and met with the people, whoever that was. I had met a friend at the time, and I just dove into it. And what I realized is that we're all searching for the same thing. And there you go. End of discussion. End of discussion. I mean, there's really nothing to be said after that. We're all searching for the same thing. We're trying to find God. We're trying to find love. We're trying to find peace. We're trying to find happiness. We're trying to find source. We're trying to find the reason for life. We all have, there's a trillion, billion, quadrillion different ways to do it. Maybe I'm allergic to this microphone. Dang.
Goodness.
But yeah. And I've also learned that they're just humans. I feel like growing up as a kid, you hear so many things. You hear so many things that are just not proper, that are negative when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses as a Christian. And you're just like, man, they're really not evil like that. They're just not. Because if they're evil, then everybody's evil. How can one religion be so perfect and have it so right? I don't really think so. You see so much of your flesh. You see so much of your attitude in that. You know, I was looking at a Christian debate or Christian guy talk today, and it was just like, bruh, you. It's great that you are who you are, but you sound just like the billionth other Christians. Like someone's like, well, why are you Christians? Like, well, because Jesus died for my sins. That's not. I don't like. Okay, that's how you are, yeah. But how did you get to that point? Is what he's asking you. How did you get there? What experience did you have? What was your experience? Maybe your heart was broken. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't broken. But yeah. Anyway, we gonna listen to some more music. It's pretty dope. Hearing that beat right there. My kids are learning how to. My boys and my 11-year-old daughter are learning the drums and how to play the drums. So I'm getting them used to hearing drums and the music and whatnot, picking things out. Where's the hi-hat? Where's the kick? Where's the snare? Cymbals and such. But that last beat was heavy on the drums, and I dig it. So yeah, as we wrap this thing up here on Tresho9, it is a beautiful Friday night. And we're going to wrap things up. That's what we're going to do. This was a short but sweet thing, and I appreciate it. It's crazy because I've been going live every day. My days are long, man. My days are crazy. Like they're drenched in consistent productivity. And I've been noticing about myself, like at the end of the day, I am just I'm done. Like it's crazy. Like I spend all my energy. I make sure that I spend ton. I just almost kill myself during the day. But yeah. And I had some sweets today. We had this amazing. We have a lot of food trucks on the island, and I think it's Yum-tastic, Yum-tastic, something like that. But it's all desserts. It's funnel cake, right? And that's something that very sweet, fried food. But yeah, it reminds me of Great America. If anybody knows about Great America in California, Santa Clara, California, where I grew up, they had funnel cakes. Even so, when you first walk into the park, there's a carousel, and then the funnel cake was near the carousel to the left. If you're looking at the front, if you're coming in from the front, I think to the left of it. And if you go left, there was this little kiosk, like a building, like a plaza. They had that there, so that's what reminded me of it. But they're huge, and I just need one bite. I literally took one bite. My wife got a fried ice cream, but yeah, it didn't last that long. It melted, but it's all good though. All right, we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. Shout out to my family and waist beads that my wife makes. You should check it out. She makes these cool waist beads. You should get some. But anyway, good night. Peace out. I'm going to leave you with this. And I'm out.
Yeah.